Okay, so a very warm welcome to the first of what will be a series of videos highlighting a number of as yet unreleased games that I'm really looking forward to checking out. The idea is that the focus of this series will be on indies for the most part, but in all likelihood I will get around eventually to talking about some of my more anticipated AAA titles as well. But the focus of this very first video is on a game called Routine, which is a game that's being developed out of the UK by Lunar Software, and is being described as a first-person horror exploration game. Basically, Routine is set on a derelict lunar research facility, and the player is actually tasked with uncovering the truth behind the disappearance of everyone who was stationed there. And I first became aware of this game by browsing, as I often do, through Steam's Greenlight pages. And the thing that immediately sort of caught my attention was this wonderful 80s lo-fi aesthetic. Now, from what I can gather, Lunar Software originally intended the game to have a more grimy, weathered look, but subsequently decided to pare things down and go with this more sleek and simple approach. That said, looking at the alpha gameplay trailer, which you guys should be seeing now, I think it's fair to say that one can still see elements of both, and that actually represents one of the more appealing things about Routine to me, in that the early look of the game brings to mind favourite old movies like Alien, being the huge Ridley Scott junkie that I am, and even things like Space Odyssey and The Thing. And speaking of old movies, favourite old movies, I recently rewatched the old 1970s classic Westworld, which I would encourage you all to do. It's a wonderful old movie, and was delighted to learn that Routine will feature these rather menacing looking haywire robots. Point being, if Routine can somehow manage to deliver an antagonist as halfway relentless and menacing as the gunslinger of Westworld, I'll be absolutely thrilled and terrified as well in actual fact. So yeah, although information in truth is pretty thin on the ground, in my mind I'm sort of imagining and hoping the game will be this taut, tension-filled experience, one which has the player carefully exploring this sort of ominous research facility for information on what went down, while simultaneously sort of trying to avoid these dangerously skittish round-the-bend robots. And on that point, Routine, its main piece of player hardware is called the Cosmonaut Assistance Tool, that's CAT for short. And this thing is described as being part gun, part utility tech device. Now, it holds 2 batteries and can actually be used to illuminate and actually interact with the environment. And it can be used to temporarily incapacitate foes. Now, Routine, it actually features permadeath, of which I'm a huge fan, so the game is actually going to challenge the player to weigh the cost of engaging in combat against avoiding it altogether, and actually striking that balance between maintaining a feeling of anxiety and apprehension against actually allowing the player to, to make some measure of progress is going to be really important, I feel. Now, some games do get this right. I'm thinking of Amnesia and the Siren games do a terrific job in this regard, but it's equally true that a lot of games get this horribly wrong. Looking at you, Gearbox. In any case, although environments will not be procedurally generated as I first thought they would be, Lunar Software have confirmed that the item and enemy locations in this game will be randomised, and that the moon base itself will be open and non-linear, meaning that different playthroughs will likely play out very differently. I've also read somewhere that multiple endings are part of Lunar Software's plan. So all very promising from my point of view. So yeah, in summary, Routine, it's shaping up to be this really promising title. It's got this cold, lonely, lo-fi aesthetic. You've got the focus on exploration and apprehension, mystery, consequence, and good old-fashioned horror, all of which have made this game one of my most anticipated of the coming year. If you have any thoughts with regards to Routine or any other as yet unreleased game for that matter, please feel free to leave me a comment or send me a PM. I'd love to hear from you. And you can check out the description box below for links to the developer and Greenlight pages. And thanks very much for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.